Hello everyone. Today we're going to be talking about cholesterol, high cholesterol, low cholesterol, good cholesterol, bad cholesterol, LDL, HDL, and most importantly, what you can do about it, or even more important, what you don't need to do about it. Hello, this is Dr. Whiting, and today is a very special day for me because you see, for over 40 years, I have been educating people, writing articles, lecturing, writing books about the fact, among other things, that cholesterol, especially from your diet, has absolutely nothing to do with heart disease. Well, today, this week in fact, after 41 years of being criticized, condemned, threatened, and all of those other things, guess what? I'm slowly, very slowly, becoming vindicated because there is an article that has been published revealing the results of several clinical studies and their analysis showing that finally dietary cholesterol consumption has almost no risk factor for heart disease. And this is really exciting because I've been trying to convince people of that at least 40 years. And now we find that the medical profession, the dietetics industry, and especially the drug companies have been wrong all along about cholesterol. In fact, they have, over these 40 plus years, probably 50 years now, poisoned successfully millions of people with statin drugs needlessly, because cholesterol in and of itself has absolutely nothing to do with the risk factor of heart disease. And this article, which I'm going to quote from right now, I think kind of explains everything pretty clearly. So let's take a look at this article. Now, mind you, they don't go all the way. This is just a toe in the water. But after 40 years of trying to convince people that we, in fact, are doing almost 180-degree wrong way of managing heart disease, it's exciting for me. So let's take a look at this. All right. Well, it says here, when thinking about dietary cholesterol, it's important to take into consideration how much of it people actually eat every day. And for years, the standard has been cholesterol intake should be about 300 milligrams a day, give or take. Well, upon analysis, they found out that the average person, the average woman, consumes 250 milligrams of cholesterol a day, and the average man 350. What's that telling us is that the amount of dietary cholesterol people are consuming is not excessive. And then in 2019, the American Heart Association conducted a meta-analysis of more than 50 studies and did not find a significant association between dietary cholesterol and cardiovascular disease risk. Let that one sink in. That's what I've been saying since the late 1970s. It goes on to say that the effect of eating foods that contain a lot of cholesterol likely will not be as high as one might expect. The risk factors for eating high cholesterol foods probably are not a risk factor. Why? Because they acknowledge, finally, that the majority of cholesterol in your body at any given time is manufactured by your liver. And in a healthy body and in a healthy liver, What happens is, or what should happen is, if you increase cholesterol consumption from food, your liver should turn down the production of cholesterol to balance it out. When you see someone with cholesterol levels, total cholesterol levels above 250 or higher, we realize that that is a liver problem. It is not a dietary problem. And finally, they are admitting that we were right. When the liver is congested, if you have a fatty liver disorder or a variety of other potential issues with the liver congestion, it oftentimes cannot regulate the production of a whole lot of hormones, including cholesterol. And the result is, of course, elevated. And that doesn't necessarily mean it puts you at a greater risk for heart disease, because it does not. In fact, we will be talking in a few minutes about the real cause of heart disease and the real cause of this number one killer. But suffice it to say that the volume of cholesterol is regulated by your liver, not by your diet. And I think it's quite interesting because the article goes on to say, animals, including humans, make cholesterol to perform a host of important functions in the body, such as making sex hormones, converting sunlight to vitamin D, forming part of cell membranes, and that can be evidenced by people who go on very low-fat, low-cholesterol diets and have a liver issue. They oftentimes have neurological problems because the myelin sheath that coats all the nerves in your body is made primarily of cholesterol. And when that decreases, we can see some neurological problems. In fact, if you take statin drugs and they manage to drive your cholesterol, total cholesterol again, down to 150 or lower, you're at a 10 times greater risk for a stroke because cholesterol is the lubricating factor for your arteries. The list of functions of cholesterol go on and on for pages. And that's why nature designed the human body to manufacture this all-important substance because of its incredible necessity. Now, if cholesterol doesn't cause heart disease, what does? Well, understand that this article does not address that, sadly. And the end of the article actually still pokes at saturated fats, saying saturated fats, those are the culprits. And by the way, the issue of saturated fats is not one I'm going to take up today, but it will be one I will address in a future video, because they're not quite right about saturated fats either. And beyond the saturated fat phobia, they never address the real cause of atherosclerosis. And atherosclerosis is the narrowing of the artery with fatty deposits, cutting off or reducing blood flow. And that is the number one cause of heart attacks and disease in the cardiovascular system. Keep in mind that after 50 years of prescribing statin drugs like candy, heart disease remains the number one cause of death in industrialized nations, including America. So something is wrong. Something is terribly wrong. And what's wrong is they're fighting an enemy called cholesterol, which is not your enemy at all. Never has been. Never will be. And as long as they keep fighting and battling cholesterol, heart disease will continue to kill more people every year than any other disease or disorder that we know of. So let's talk for a couple minutes about what is the real cause of heart disease. Well, your arteries occlude or plug up due to a process called calcification of the arteries. That's where calcium ions are laid down inside the artery in areas where that artery has been damaged by free radical activity. Once the artery becomes calcified, cholesterol, which is normally circulating in your blood at any given time anyway, then is ionically attracted to the calcium. And we blame the cholesterol, where we should be blaming and addressing and fixing the calcification of the artery. And yes, that can be done. There are processes, there are natural nutrients that can help prevent and also remove calcium ions from the arteries. And once the calcium has been removed, cholesterol dissolves, floats away, and continues to do all its many, many beneficial jobs without plugging up your arteries. At our research institute, we have developed several methods of helping to address arterial calcification. If you would like more information on the role of cholesterol in a healthy body, detoxifying the liver to control cholesterol production, or how to help to prevent or remove calcified arteries and prevent atherosclerosis and arterial occlusion, you can always email me at my research center, which is Ask the Doc, A-S-K-D-H-E, Ask the Doc, A-S-K-T-H-E-D-O-C, at healthyinformation.com. Or you can call our research center at 1-888-454-8464. It's time we stop poisoning people with statins. It's time we stop scaring people half to death from cholesterol, when cholesterol is your friend, not your enemy. Nature would never design a body, such as ours, that produces cholesterol if it's going to kill you. Nature isn't that stupid. We are, but not nature. It's time to start looking at the real cause of this mega killer and deal with it safely and properly. This is Dr. Whiting. Take care and stay safe.